Hey, Legal Shield family. It's your servant CEO, Jeff Bell, and it's time to spend 5 minutes strong. Last week, I started on some topics that I felt were things that we should have learned in school that we didn't, that I wish we would have. And so today, I'm going to do the second part, and we're going to talk about 8 more things that I believe were really important for us to be able to grow and prosper as independent adults in today's society. Number 9, I wish we would have been taught to use our reticular activation system to our advantage. Now, I know that sounds highfalutin, sounds, complicated language, but basically the way that God or nature made us, whatever your beliefs, is that we take in an awful lot of information. I mean, if right now I was distracted by all the noises that I actually can hear, by all of the sights that I can perceive, by all the smells, all of the sensations, then I wouldn't be able to function. I would be overwhelmed. But our reticular activation system helps us to focus and be able to maintain some level of capability and functionality. And so how do we learn to use that? I'll give you an example, though, just generally speaking. When we say, wow, that is a good-looking car. Brand new car comes out in the marketplace. Wow, that new Jaguar, man, that's a good-looking car. Guess what happens? We start seeing more of them. Now you could say, well, that's because there are more of them on the road. Not necessarily. Whenever you take note of something, then you start to notice it. That's the reticular activation system. So what does that mean for us? It means that it's important for us to be able to understand that we, in fact, control how to reduce the clutter in our life and focus on the things that are most important. In our business, it's money-making activities. It's the 10 core commitments. Let's talk about the next one. That's number 10. Number 10 is that, your attitude changes your reality. And I don't think that that's a new concept, but I wish they taught it in school every day to our kids, all the way through college and even high school and everything, all the way through. We've all heard that you should keep a positive attitude and, you need to be the change in your attitude to make the change in your life. And that obviously, again, it sounds like platitudes, but what I have discovered over the years is that if you change your attitude, you actually change your reality. When, for instance, you use a positive attitude instead of a negative one, you start to see things differently. It changes your point of view. Many things that maybe you didn't even see before, things that you forgot to celebrate because you didn't even notice them before, the little things in life. So I would argue that the way to be practical when we talk about have a positive mental attitude is practice it, and then you'll see that it actually changes the way that you engage with the world. Number 11, gratitude is a simple way to make yourself feel happy. This is a beautiful lesson. You read it in the Bible, you read it in the Quran. When you give to others, you actually receive immediately through the giving. It's not that you have to receive something back. You're actually getting something back when you're doing the giving, which I think is fantastic. And it's just so true. If you make other people happier, you're going to feel happier yourself. It's extraordinarily satisfying. Number 12, which they taught us in school, don't compare yourself to others. In fact, all school does is compare you with others. Who got an A, who got a B, who got a C, who got a D, who gets picked on the playground. I would argue that the ego does want to compare against other things. And we find reasons to be able to do that, to feel better about ourselves, sometimes by putting other people down. But by doing it, I would argue that we're not necessarily finding the greatest things to celebrate in ourselves or in others. The comparison should be more of a celebration rather than a critique. Again, being criticized originally by the Greeks meant that you were receiving feedback in order to reprove. Somewhere along the way in Western civilization, it became a negative. It's not meant to be that. So when we compare, it shouldn't be negative. I would argue instead we should celebrate both the diversity and the accomplishments of others. Number 13, 80 to 90% of what you fear will happen actually never comes to pass. I wish we were taught that in school. And, this is a really big one. Anxiety is basically the difference between where we are and maybe where we think we want to be. We set a goal, we feel anxiety immediately. We fear the worst. We fear failure. And it keeps us stuck. It keeps us stuck in the moment where we are from places that we want to move beyond. We've got to be able to understand that anxiety and fear are a state of mind. and they're paralyzing us. And we've got to recognize that 89% of the things that we think that are bad, they're going to happen in life, they're not going to happen. Number 14, don't take things so seriously. I've talked in the past, laugh at yourself, be able to just laugh out loud. It matters, okay? I mean, when life gets too serious, then take a moment and, just think of the funniest joke. Call somebody who you know loves jokes and can tell you a joke. You need to be able to lighten up. And if you don't want to laugh, then just walk around the block. Count to 10. Don't take everything so seriously. Great question that people ask, it's in business. It's like somebody comes to you, I got a problem with business. The first thing you should ask is, has anyone died? Generally, it's like, oh, well, no. Okay, good. I'm glad we got that cleared up. Number 15, I want you to write everything down. Taking notes in class, we do that, right? But writing everything down, I think somehow we lose some of that discipline. You want to start the day the right way. You want to get started right. You want to make some goals, some meditation, some prayer. You want to, what are you thankful for? And start to write down the things that you wish to accomplish today. Bite-sized chunks, not your big hairy goals. You can have those written down, but you've got to be able to make action today towards those goals. Writing it down helps. Being able to see what you did today and then carry it forward to tomorrow continues to keep you moving forwards in progress. And the last that I wanted to talk about, what I wish they would teach us in school, but they never did. Number 16, there are plenty of opportunities in just about every experience. Now, think about that. I'm defining an experience both as an opportunity, but also as a challenge. If you're lonely, I can tell you that there are other people out there that are lonely too. Use it as a chance to find a friend, to make a new acquaintance. If you're feeling like you're on top of the world, it's a chance for you to reach down and to help somebody else who's hurting. If you're really hurting and you see somebody else who seems to be having a fantastically happy and successful life, introduce yourself, ask for their help. You've honored them in the request. These are the things that you need to understand, is that, as I've said before, mistakes and failures are part of the process of success. Try something totally new if what you're doing right now is not making you happy. I hope that what you try is Legal Shield, either as a new person or if you're already in the business, that you redouble your effort, find your why, plug into the system, and enjoy success and happiness. My name is Jeff Bell, and trust me, I'm just getting started, because we're Legal Shield, and truly the best is yet to come.